The writing's
Kulo follow since having forth coming sweating up.
I think I know this lighting is much better.
It's much brighter.
Yeah, it's much 1, 2, 3. Hi guys, we are the Makulas. My name is Zandile, and this is my husband.
My name is Kekamba.
Yeah, and let's give it to them. Show me.
No, that's just very flat. Yeah, man.
No, let's try again. Okay, cool. So we are testing this video capability. We've got a beautiful light on Mamake. We've got a beautiful light on Dadake. And we're going to share just one parenting tip that we have received either from someone or the Holy Spirit himself. We've got 2 children. Our firstborn, his name is Taliso Esihle Kamani Makula. He's now 3, born in 2017. And we have a beautiful baby girl who is 13 months. Her name is Imi Apo Makula. So, nobody told us.
Hands full.
Nobody told us. Why don't you tell us? This thing is hard. Like, you can't do it by yourself. And not by yourself as in by yourself. It's in you can't do it by yourself. You can't even do it by yourself. You need the Holy Spirit. Whether you're single, whether you're married, you need the Holy Spirit to holler at you, to give you tips for your children, because you'll be out in these streets trying to strangle them. Literally.
True story.
Front.
I don't know how many
the thoughts have come to you.
I've had it with my son. Literally, you just need to brace yourself, especially with the growth coming up, because it comes to you from around the corner, from around the bend. You don't know what's about to break with each leap. They literally grow in front of you and they teach you new things. You're busy baking with them. The next thing they're teaching you how to bake. So brace yourself for learning while on the go, literally learning
and also
emotion.
Like brace yourself, because I think the biggest thing in parenting that nobody or I haven't come across that advice is parenting is testing not only your patience, which we hear all the time. That's partially true. You know what parenting does? It's your children are almost your stimulus. They are your triggers to all the emotional stuff that you never had time to deal with. And it causes you to look into the mirror and in a very funny way. And most of the time we don't have the self-awareness to know that that's happening. So what do? We just want to wipe them out. But you shouldn't do that. Don't ever do that. I'm just sharing with you that you want to do that. The thought comes to you. But please, when you feel like you're about to, step aside. Give me a call. Give a girlfriend a call. Call your husband, but step back. But what we want to say is that what we've realized is that our children almost become our triggers of issues that we potentially haven't dealt with in our own lives. And for most part of it is you don't want to deal with it, and you don't have time to deal with it because you're thinking that I've got to discipline this person that's in front of me, whereas it's actually not about them, but it's about you. So parenting is, also a journey of self-healing, and what you've got to allow yourself is just a moment to breathe and to reflect and ask yourself the question, why does this behavior bother me so much?
I find it so amazing because it's also a time for you to discover how you need to do life with the Holy Spirit, with God, and how you can rely on Him for those most basic things. And I think when you start with the little, what outfit do I choose for him to wear? How do I feed him porridge? What skills or what tricks can I use to entice him to eat his food? God is able to whisper to you.
Yeah.
Don't be harsh, don't command, don't demand. Engage him, relate with him. And God is also able to talk to you about the different design that your child has and the kind of makeup that you need to talk to. Otherwise, it's not going to respond to you, and you are dealing with a being here that is being impacted by your frustration. So, granted, you are being frustrated. You don't know what you don't know. At the same time, the child does not know what you're trying to do. So those two things are not going to help. So one needs to take on the grown-up role and lean into the Holy Spirit. That's why I love the presence of God, because God offers us to be his children. So we lean on him, on his lap, as in these kids who don't know what's going on with our own kids, in the sense of the novelty that comes with having to raise your child who's growing up in front of you. And so I found him to be very resourceful, the Holy Spirit, in guiding me and helping me with my own anger issues, when managing those frustrations when things don't happen. Now I'm not dealing with a thing, I'm dealing with my boy. And I'm talking around my boy specifically because he's 3 years old. My daughter is only 1. And really, you can't but allow a baby to cry. But when you're dealing with a 3-year-old who can speak and who shows signs of understanding and being cognitive enough to know what's logically right and what's basically morally wrong and right, you then know that you begin to have these expectations that he should understand things that you expect him to understand, and yet he's still a child. So all of those dynamics and emotions are stirring up, and they're happening while you are raising your child and relating to them. And this is where I find the Holy Spirit to be very, very, very helpful, crucial in just whispering to you, you know what, step back.
Yeah.
You're the grown up here. Tease this moment out of him. Tease this thing out of him. Help him.
So give us an example of like what the Holy Spirit has said to you, like practically to help you raise or to help discipline or guide or taliso.
I think the biggest one for me is the one I was actually beginning to talk about now, and that is the anger area.
Yeah.
And I find it to be quite funny because anger has been my own challenge, and I find that somehow to be a mirror when Tali now expresses himself in such an intense way. I mean, when it comes to anger, that this is beginning to be the most highest of all these emotional expressions. Anger as well as laughter, but his range is so intense. I think he expresses his presence in the more intense ranges of his anger.
Yeah.
And I found that to be quite disturbing when you now have to rein him in or try and have him cooperate, and play for the bigger whole in terms of the team. So when we're playing outside, for example, I found those moments by the Holy Spirit as good moments of teasing certain anger habits out of him, and by using his favorite cartoons to highlight that so-and-so, Tracker or Zuma or Chase or Marsha would not do such a thing. And if they were to see you lashing out and throwing yourself literally on the grass and just rolling over in a tantrum, they would not play with you. So, interestingly enough, I found him to find these very funny. And I sat down and I said, my God, because previously I would just want to smack the child. I would literally want to whack him on the head and tell him, behave. And not realizing that I was actually just making him more angry, and making him more coiled up inside, and literally, creating a potential of anger tantrums later on. So
let's just pause there, because I think that is such a powerful takeaway. And it's something that, both you and I have been brought to the awareness of. And if this works for our child, we're not here trying to prescribe what you must do. We are always saying is seek the Holy Spirit.
But it works all the time.
He works, the Holy Spirit works all the time. Seek him to find out what you should be doing with your child, because he's the maker of your child. So he knows the wiring and how he's connected those dots, okay? So for us, for our child, like my husband was saying, is that we found that speaking to him works. And my hubby speaks to him in relation to what he knows.
The things that he likes.
The things that he likes,
Relate
like Paw Patrol,
the things that he likes, the things
William
that he enjoys.
The things that he enjoys. So we bring back lessons using the characters to say, but Tracker wouldn't like you to do this, and etc., etc., etc. And what that does, at times, it doesn't. The behavior doesn't stop immediately, but you give him the word, and he processes it within 5 or 10 minutes, and the tantrum is still going, by the way. So that's where you've got to exercise patience and understand that your word is a seed. It's got to wait for a little bit, sometimes a long time, for that word to manifest. But for our son, I find 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes doesn't go by without him repeating what I've just said.
Amazing.
And it's the most powerful thing. But I find myself frustrated in the moments where I want things done now. I don't have time to plant a word and wait for you to sow it. I mean, for it to reap. And in those moments where I am harsh, where I shouting or sending him to his room, it's not effective. It actually isn't effective. I get myself riled up. He also gets riled up, like my husband said, and it just becomes a funk.
Wow.
But if I give the word, I speak the reasoning behind what it is I want to do. Now I just walk away.
Amazing.
I walk away.
Wow.
And a few moments later, my son is repeating exactly what I've said, and he's doing what I've said. So that's one technique. I'm not saying that's our only go-to technique. We've got a few bags of tricks,
and I think the principle
that one really works.
Absolutely. In principle, I think to perhaps move away from the actual technique, because the Holy Spirit will give you your own specific one for your family and for your child. The principle that I remember God bringing as a lesson, though, in terms of raising up a child, is also the idea of seeing them.
Oh, yes.
See, this applies to every human being. I think this is where the substance really drills home, because when we see the human being that's struggling with the whole concept and idea of life, they've just arrived here and they're dealing with all of these emotional dynamics, the hormones and things that are just changing constantly, people coming in, nan is changing here and everything else. So when you see, and I found you to be very active in that area, where you actually remind me that no, he's actually going through a lot, and that has helped me a lot, just to step back and think, hey, this is maybe not a personal thing here. He's not trying to make me feel less of a dad, but he's actually just going through his own emotions. I found that principle to be very helpful in distancing me from the act or from the event of tantrum and the pressure of that energy that's just can be so negative. But with the wrong filter, you can then agitate what the person is already going through, and you both end up having this sort of fission effect that nothing is going through the other side. It's just there's a break in chemistry, and instead of healing each other and seeing each other, you are now perhaps distracting each other, distracting each other. And that's what I found the Holy Spirit to be very helpful in teaching me, that see him, he's a human being. Relate to him as though a grown up.
I love that.
But not a grown up in the sense, but relate to him as though he's going to grow one day. And he's not meant to be here forever. As a child forever. And bring up the person in him. Talk to him, see him as a child, see the things that he enjoys, see the things that he loves to associate with. So even when you do whatever you do, see who he is, see who he wants to be, and teach him further about who else he can be, because also his range is about what you've introduced to him. So sometimes his range is limited. Today also I was just experiencing this with the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit was saying to me, why are you being judgmental? I was just amazed at just his range of anger. The Holy Spirit said, but that's all he knows. So you need to introduce him to all the other expressions. Bring him in, be the grown up, be the adult, and invite him in. Teach him, have the patience, show him that no, let's play together, let's share now, it's okay. I'll give my ball to you, and don't be irritable when he distracts you from your own game. Show him that range, that you know what, I can actually demonstrate it. I love what Pastor Joseph Prince says. Your child doesn't only listen to what you say,
they watch,
they emulate you, they simulate, they mimic. And
you know what,
what you do.
For most part, our 3-year-old now, when he was 2, he could speak eloquently, and so we've been having a whole year of just him speaking back. But because he's so eloquent and cognitively aligned, for most part, the things he says can be quite provoking, but I always have to remember that he's just emulating what I've said. Today I don't know what I did, and I was disciplining him and saying, Tali, please stop doing that. We call him Tali for short, but his name is Tali, so stop doing that. And then he got really upset. He said, Mom, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable.
That's his favorite. And
I was just like, how are you telling me things are unacceptable?
Word for word.
They understand the context and how to apply words, and for most part they'll say those words, but there's not a full cognitive understanding of what it means. I understand it, but it's not in the fullness of it. That be careful of getting frustrated with the response backs that you get, but just remember that they are emulating you.
Yes.
And I love what you say in terms of see them as people, see them as people that are new in an environment, so they are learning coping mechanisms. They are going through a lot emotionally, and so it's not personal. I love that. Don't take it personal. Don't think it's a test on you or a reflection on you, but it's them going through that. So hopefully with that insight we have helped you.
I think I have a bonus one though. I think always with these sessions the Holy Spirit will download something.
Yeah.
And I think that's the grace that you can enjoy, that you can
look forward to.
And that God will always pour something more and sanctify this. What he's saying now is literally that parenting is literally an opportunity for you to be parented. Get this?
What?
God never allows promotion to be without him. When you are being promoted, God is literally saying, it's now time for you to learn
lean on me.
about the area of your promotion. So parenting, the title itself has the calendar and syllabus that God is going to be schooling you in. So it means being a parent, it doesn't mean you have arrived.
Or you know it all.
You are being parented on parenting.
Okay.
So open yourself to hearing from him about this new journey, because you yourself are shocked. Literally, I think when my son first arrived, I think I had 3 days of just like outer body experience. I was like, whoa, this is just like the kind of changes that started happening. So the long and short of it is, brace yourself for God to just walk you through the journey. Take a breather. You're not going to stop being you. You're not going to lose yourself in the process, but you're definitely going to grow and discover more range about who you are as a human being. A range of loving, a range of patience, range of forgiveness, range of caring and being more considerate and being less selfish. So you're going to discover more beautiful things about you. Sense of humor, my goodness, the level of humor that I discovered since my son came through, I realized, oh my God, and it's coming out because of him. He's pulling it out of me, but it didn't come easy. I leaned into God, and God said, why are you making this about you? And God taught me ways of engaging the human being, and while I'm engaging him, he's teaching me about humor that I never thought I had. So these are the beautiful things that you can look forward to learning from God while he parents you on how to parent. I hope that adds value, but it's definitely blessing me right now.
Awesome. No, that's really blessed. Yeah, that's a fresh download. Parenting is about being parented by God. You know, promotion is about leaning on him to show you this new area that you've just stepped in. So why would we think, we've got this? Because you ain't got it. We ain't got nothing.
Man.
But
I can sleep at night.
Yeah, so just lean on him, lean on him, and he wants to show you the way. He's the one that made them. Amen. He's the one that made them. He created them. Amen. He's the maker and the finisher of their faith. So lean on him and ask the source in terms of, hey, what's up with this product? How do I make sure that it's working in its fullness? So I hope you are blessed by this video. We hopefully will launch it out for you to be blessed. But like we're saying, we were just experimenting with what we know. We love you.
The maculas.
What's it called? Overflow.
The macula overflow.
Oh, guys, shut up. The
My
macula
cup overflows.
Yes, the macula overflow.
Crown me.
Send us your comments. Tell us what you want to hear about. What's tripping you up about parenting. We'll hopefully find and help. Not only our wisdom, but we'll go find the wisdom and bring it to you. But we want to just share our experiences. That's what this is all about.
Send your questions to God, please. Send your questions to God.
Yeah. Send your questions to God.
But do tune in for more inspirational stories from us here at the Maculas with the Overflow.
Amen.
Thanks, bye.